is that is the website still running even after you get rid of all of these people? Oh, it still is. Maybe you didn't need them, right? And that was a different case. The website is not fine. Well, I think it is. I'm sure there are things that Twitter does wrong. And also, remember Meta, and this is a big thing. A lot of people might not remember this. This was last year. Meta laid off, and this is like Facebook, right? Facebook, Instagram, etc. laid off 11,000 employees. And this, by the way, was 13% of their staff. So a smaller percentage than Twitch did, but I think this was one round of layoffs and not just the only layoffs. This might be a hot take, but I never blame a company for going linear, especially when we haven't heard terrible working conditions as a result. Laying off 500 probably saves them $25 million a year. Well, of course they're going to get rid of people who they feel like they're not making money off of them, right? It's a pretty simple decision. It's like, do we need this person to run the business? If the answer is no, then you get rid of them. And you also look, yeah, this is another thing that I was going to show too. Apparently also Amazon is removing people too. Amazon is laying off several hundred across Prime Video and Amazon MGM Studios. 700 people. Additionally, 500 employees, or 35% of the workforce, are being let go at Amazon live stream on Twitch. Yeah, there it is. It's an incredibly difficult decision to make, and not one that my leadership and I don't take lightly. It's hard to say goodbye to so many talented Amazonians who have made meaningful contributions on behalf of our customers. And yeah, obviously that really sucks. And this is Dan Clancy talking about it here. I know many of you are wondering why this is happening. Over the last year, we've been working to build a more sustainable business so that Twitch will be here for the long run. And throughout the year, we've cut costs and made many decisions to be more efficient. Unfortunately, despite these efforts, it's become clear that our organization is still meaningfully larger than it needs to be, given the size of business. Last year, we paid out over $1 billion to streamers. So while the Twitch business remains strong, for some time now, the organization has been sized upon where we optimistically expect our business to be in 3 or so more years, not where it's at today. As with many other companies in the tech space, we're now sizing our organization based on the current scale of business and conservative predictions on how we expect to grow in the future. So I think this is an incredibly reasonable thing to do. I think this is very smart, because really tech companies they've always been building for the future, and the future is always higher than the past. And this is just what's happened with all of these tech companies. That's why there's so much venture capital that's for tech and for AI and stuff like that, because these tech companies can just continuously build and making more and more money. And guess what happens? Well, people's investment money goes up, right? Obviously, but eventually that stops. Eventually that always stops. And like, you can look at what happened with Twitch, right? Let's look at it ourselves. And this is going to give us some insight into, like, obviously this is third party. It's not perfect, but we're just going to go ahead and look at it anyway.
What's up, everybody?
And so if we look at the amount of people that are
hello.
Like,
bro, I'm so pumped to start getting. Hey, I'm so glad. I'm really happy for you, Maiden.
Like, look.
But dude, let's try to keep it on the down low. I wouldn't want the other mods getting jealous.
You draw a line. That line is like this. And it has gone up pretty much every single
but I'm very happy that I can be a part of that.
Not every single one. You can see, obviously, there's some dips.
I think you're pretty good at what you do.
But for the most part, the company has grown rapidly.
I will. I'm just hyped. I'm glad. I'm glad you're hyped.
Well, after COVID,
I'm pretty excited myself.
And look, like, Twitch is doing amazing. Twitch is doing great. But it's not growing at this, like, 20% growth curve that it was at all of this time. You see what I'm saying? And it's not really even stagnating. Yeah, I would say that it's maturing.
Hey, dude, you're on top of it, man.
Market saturation that a lot of the people that would go to Twitch already are here.
There's no evidence.
The same thing with Facebook. Facebook.
Oh, I'm not too worried about it. I'm just letting you know if you don't mind.
Facebook. Well, eventually you run out of people that exist in the world.
I'm excited about it too. We're gonna have a good time. Working together.
I would argue that I don't think that's really true. I actually don't think that Twitch has been in decline or anything like that. Yeah, I don't think Twitch is doing like amazing, but it's not in decline at all. It's retained a lot of its business from COVID. Like, yes, it's gone down, but you know, bearing in mind, like,
you're more than welcome to tell your friends, definitely,
that like COVID had, I feel like Twitch hasn't really lost that many people comparatively. And also, look at this one right here. The most recent one is higher than it's been almost for a whole year.
I'm thinking Warcraft themed.
Well, to be
with
fair,
your spice
a lot
on
of
it.
big streamers haven't really left. They're just going to another website and streaming on Twitch as well. Like XQC didn't really leave Twitch. The only person who's really not on Twitch anymore, I would say, well, there's Destiny, and there's Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross isn't on Twitch anymore at all.
I already like the thing that you put up with the DPS and the
at all.
Asmund Ball. Oh yeah, baby. I love Asmund.
Dr. Disrespect. Yeah, but the Doc thing happened like all the way back here, right? So I don't think Dr. Disrespect really had much of a decision. Nick Merckx. Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. Nick Doc's been gone for years.
Did you see about this, Mayton? About all of the 500 people at Twitch getting laid off? Sad, man. But I understand why they're having to do it. They went way too big. Hello. What's up? Oh, thanks. I'll take it right now. All right, love you. Bye. What? Yeah. Bye.
Did Nick Merckx completely leave Twitch? Did he? He did. Okay, well, good for him. Hopefully they paid him a lot of money. And Tim the Tatman, would you say Kai brought Twitch to a much bigger market? I think that Kai definitely did. I mean, it's not even a question. Like Kai, Your Rage, Aiden Ross, there's like one person, Bruce, like all of the W streamers, like those guys, like they brought in an audience of people who weren't native Twitch viewers, because like, you know, these guys don't even know what Twitch is. They're just watching Aiden Ross, or they're watching Kai or something like that. So, you know, Bruce, I mean, you can not like Bruce all you want, but like the fact is, like, Bruce had a big community, right? I haven't really, I'm not usually really looking a whole lot recently.
You just feel so bad. You screamed at them in text.
He had a very big community.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And he brought them from places that weren't,
well, I'm glad,
weren't already there. What's the W community, bro? It's just like basically a lot of like, I feel like it's just basically younger guys. Because people are like, oh, it's black people, right? I don't think it's really that simple. To be totally honest with you guys, I really don't think it's that simple. I think it's that the majority of content creators on Twitch make content for people that are 28 plus.
They're live in Rome?
I think that Twitch in general...
It's 8 a.m.? That's crazy. You have a friend in Rome. That's crazy.
There aren't really that many
fine.
Before Aiden Ross, let's say, there weren't really a lot of streamers that were making content for 17-year-olds. And
I gotta make this place my end.
At all, because Aiden Ross was 21. He's 20. Like, of course he's gonna make content for 17-year-olds. He used to be 17 like a few years ago. So of course it makes sense. So yeah, and so now that, like, obviously, like, you know, you have new guys that are making content for younger audiences, you're gonna bring in that younger audience, and that younger audience is new, and so that's different. I'm probably on the younger side of your audience. I'm 24. Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that there aren't. There's people of all ages around, but just in a general sense, I think that Twitch hasn't really been hurt that much from COVID recession. I actually don't think so at all. But the truth is that a lot of other companies have, like Meta, that I just showed you guys, and that's normal. Also, what did those 500 staff do? Because whenever you're looking at 500 staff, like, so basically,
it's only not 15 and I'm screaming at them.
Accurate,
that's so funny.
Kind of go ahead and do it anyway. And so whenever you do
buy a Thunder L, okay.
Product development, right? Whatever product development is for your company. If product development is, guys, it's not the Illuminati. If product development is coding, engineering, if product development is, you know, like running a website or anything like that, but you have a lot of people that are underneath that, like HR. You have people that are like management. And all of these other people exist in order to support this top pyramid. So whenever they're losing 500 people, they're not losing 500 people that are engineers. They're not losing 500 people that are content creator, you know, relationships experts, right? Or anything like that. They are losing a lot of those people. They're probably losing 200 to 300 of those people. And then they're also losing 200 to 300 other people that support those people or that work in tandem with those people whose job is attached to this other person's job. And without one, you don't necessarily need the other. It's like what they were, put it be blunt, they were expendable. Well, they weren't expendable. It's just that their jobs existed to empower these people to do their jobs in the best way. So like, think of it as a dungeon group. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. Okay, so basically, let's say you have a 20-man raid, okay? You have a 20-man raid, and you have 4 healers for the 20-man raid, right? Well, let's say you need to drop 5 DPS. If you drop 5 DPS, do you really still need 4 healers? Probably not. So you probably drop 1 or 2 healers as well. And that's what's happening. There's a lot of healers, a lot of support roles. And there it is. Might be interested in this, English Voice Actor Union. Yeah, I saw that. I'd have to, like, I haven't talked about that yet because I don't really know a lot about it. I think you're arguing here from ignorance.
Explosive
Lots of
shot,
talented engineers
huh?
being laid off. Well, of course there are talented engineers being laid off. Absolutely they are. 100%. But what I'm saying is that it's not 500 talented engineers. It's probably 200 to 300 talented engineers, and then 200 to 300 also talented HR management people. 200 to 300 maybe janitorial people. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, you're totally fucking right. Necessarily and more talented engineers will find a new job. Don't worry. Well, I hope so. Some are not talented. Well, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure some of them are bad.
You need to chill. I am
just the same as any other job.
You're,
right?
you know what? You get to take your feelings the way you want to take them.
And then also maybe the officer who's
I'm glad you're excited. I'm very, very happy.
With the WoW
I'm excited that I can
true.
that you can help me out in the way that I'm needing, and that I can help you out in the way that
to a 20-man raid
is fulfilling to you.
Not just the DPS, but the tanks and the healers too. And maybe even the officer who scheduled all 40 people isn't needed either. There it is. And that's what happens with things like this. People focus on just the devs and engineers without considering the rest of the personnel.
I'm very happy. And you can hit me up anytime you need. If you've got questions or that type of stuff.
Dan find a use for them
I think I've been somewhat good at getting back to people on Discord recently, so.
It depends on what their goals are. So, like, maybe their goal isn't to, like, let's say there was somebody who is extremely talented at making a UI, but they feel like they don't need another UI designer because they already have 7 of them. And also, like, you can't just continuously build for growth. If you expect to grow 20% every year, eventually one year you won't grow 20%, but you're still hiring as if you will. So I think that's the big difference here. You only have room for so many cooks in a kitchen. Yeah, exactly. Twitch isn't profitable, done. No, it's hard to say. But yeah, it looks like Amazon is also removing people from Amazon Prime and Prime Video, which makes sense. I mean, let's be honest. Well, I mean, The Boys is Amazon Prime, right? Is that Prime? I don't remember exactly. Yeah, people love that show. That show's really popular. But also it has Rings of Power. And didn't they invest like $1 billion into Rings of Power? Yeah, they invested a tremendous amount of money into it. And guess what happened? Well,
actually works out because you're about to drop $50 in mounts. Nice.
Wheel of Time.
I'm glad I can contribute.
Like Wheel of Time either, as far as I know. So that's what happens, is that if you make shows...
Did you see that new one that came out for the 6-month thing?
If you
sign up for like a year,
this isn't like a get woke, go
that's such a good looking retail mount, man.
Make shows. It's the same as like Halo. I think.
Wish I could just unlock it playing the game.
Halo in no way, at least as far as I see, right? It's not marketed this way at all.
Look at them all coming after me.
Show. But it's not for Halo fans. Because if it was, everybody would be watching it. The same as with the Sonic movies. The Sonic movies were made for Sonic fans, and guess what? They all watched the fucking movie.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Yeah, it was awful. Yeah, but there it is. Some movies.
Yeah, I think it's a really good looking mount.
Yeah, and big surprise. It's because they made it for the audience of people. We have time at 78% score on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not really hated. Oh, I remember whenever it got announced, people were like kind of negative about it. But
oh no, I should have grabbed ammo.
You're right about that. And anyway, so yeah, I think this makes sense because, you know, you make content for people that aren't your audience, and then guess what? Those people aren't there. I'll go ahead and look at the rest of these. And also, here's another huge factor, and I don't know how much of this was incorporated into the 500 people that are being let go from Twitch. But Twitch just shut down Twitch Korea. So, like, that huge audience is just gone. Now there are still.
It was her B-Day a bit back. Oh,
Twitch,
nice, nice.
It's not going to be officially supported. Oh yeah, exactly.
All right, I gotta go buy ammo somewhere over here. Hopefully they have some.
And there's a consequence for these things. Like there's people who are supposed to, like, for example, accounting. Let's say for every 10 partners, you need one accounting person, or one person working in financial services. Well, let's say you lose 1,000 partners. Well, do you need to get rid of 100 people? Maybe. Right size, fuck that word. Oh no, I think that's a good decision. I feel like the only problem that people have, with jobs nowadays is the fact that they need to work at a job to make money. I think that a company should try to exist in a lean and productive state. And
come on, somebody sell me some ammo.
Jobs or companies for letting people go. And healthcare, what? No. Go ahead and let me explain this, right? The reason why people are angry about it is because of the money. It's obviously the money. Because a lot of you guys, how many of you guys, you don't buy a really big car because the gas mileage for the really big car is too much? Oh, I'd buy an Escalade, they're really cool, but they only get 7 miles to the gallon. Of course. But like if you had 6 kids, you might be buying one of those big cars. But if you don't have 6 kids, you're not going to buy an expensive car. Or a big car, a big car. So everybody practices downside.
Celeste just left you to go to bed an hour ago. Oh my gosh. In the building, yeah.
It's always sad whenever people lose their jobs.
I think I'm going to have to go to the building.
Because people lose their jobs, that's not a very good
Sorry, I think I have my Hearthstone set there.
Say that companies shouldn't be able to hire and remove people as they see fit. It hasn't changed in years. I feel like I live in a completely different income bracket. Yeah, because you do. That's it. Lean and productive doesn't mean you work with Jack Welch style of management, which has taken over NBA education. It demands constant upwards profitability, even at the destruction of the company. I actually disagree with you, Ragnarok, that it's because of management. I think the reason why upwards profitability is... So there's 2 reasons why upwards profitability is popular. Number 1, the executives are not playing the game of making a good company. They are playing the game of making good quarterly earnings reports. And because of that, that's why you have displacements of accounting. That's why you have like all these accounting tricks that they use, right? Of like, oh, we're going to carry this loss over to this other point in time. The reason why all of those things exist is to project a positive outward image of the company to investors. So all of these things exist because of the way that companies are rewarded and structured. So if you compare this to, let's say, Japan, that has a much more longitudinal, long-term approach to developing a company like Nintendo, for example, you'd see a completely different set of priorities. And the reason why is that they have long-term accountability, whereas we don't have that, or at least not in the same way.
To just probably fill this thing up.
I think that also there's the other just truth of life that people are greedy, and greed begets more greed. And once people get to a $10 million company, they want to make it a $20 million company. And I think this is especially true.
I did nothing in Discord.
One of the most status-conscious cultures in the world, which is the U.S.
Let's see.
So, of course, yeah. So I think this is driven primarily by the, fiduciary responsibility that executives have to shareholders.
I love it.
It's a publicly traded company.
I love it.
I think it plays into the
thank you.
Of greed. It's
appreciate
part of
the help
fundamentally, and also, I mean, it's not a bad thing.
It's that type of stuff that like is so helpful to have some people helping out with, because even like I tell you what, if I didn't have to title streams every day, going live would be so much easier. But because I have to title the stream every time, I get anxiety about titling the stream. So
gone too far? I don't really think that's the case. I think that there are instances of that being the case, sure. But I think that there are instances where socialism, capitalism, communism all go too far.
It's so funny what humans will have like the smallest or biggest anxieties over.
I think that
they're such easy things.
Socialism and capitalism make a lot of sense, and they're very useful.
Well, it got you. Well, I'm glad.
Instead of thinking about things,
I'm glad. I think I got a good one.
Frame of mind of like, oh yeah, this is capitalism or this is socialism.
So let me rephrase that. I know I got a good one. I've already experienced some of your work, so I'm very impressed. Just somebody that understands the bots and like Discord, like
I wanted to read the Communist Manifesto. I did. I wanted to read it in the same
on a level that I
just
don't is so like.
I hear people are critical about Islam all the time, and they say, "Oh, Islam
it's a great skill." I think Discord is one of the biggest.
They're just saying that to me, and so I want to read it.
One of my favorite social medias.
I actually know what's happening rather than having it be dictated to me by somebody who has an agenda. This is a big deal, by the way. This is and this is how important it is. Do you want to know who one of the main groups of people who didn't want to have printing presses and mass distribution of Bibles was? The church. Because if they're the ones that can read the Bible, they have a monopoly on God. So, think about that. And so that's why I wanted to read the Communist Manifesto. Not because I'm a big communist or anything like that, but I want to see what this guy said. Because obviously it was very effective. I mean, fuck. Killed a lot of people, right? So like, what the fuck did he think? What actually did he say? Is there any validity in this? What's the truth of it? And I would feel the same way about the Quran or anything else. My point is that I don't think that it is a fundamentally bad thing to want to downsize a company. It's not a fundamentally bad thing to want to run a lean operation where you are functioning at maximum efficiency. And I think that a lot of these tech companies over the last 3 years massively overhired for COVID, and on top of overhiring for COVID, massively overhired in the projection of infinite 20% growth years. That finally stopped, and now they have to mature as a company. They're not stagnating, they're maturing. The same as Meta is, the same as Twitch is, Amazon Video, because Amazon Video is another new industry whenever you really think about it. How many years have has there been like movie industry?
I gotta go enter this cave.
Like
oh, I gotta go over here. Okay.
Industries like Netflix and Amazon.
I gotta go kill
Video
trolls
and stuff like that, like Peacock. All of this is very, very new. And in the process of it being so new,
you applied for a remote job listing this morning. Nice. That's awesome. Well,
is this gonna be
I hope you, if nothing else, I hope you get
cap
some
or a
experience from
$100 million market
work
cap, $100 billion
applying
market
online
cap?
because
Like,
it's
what
something
is
that's
the
a little
scale
bit
of this
different.
business?
I know
And
I struggled
they're
with it.
figuring that out at the same time that everybody else is, because everybody gets to decide how big that business really is. So that's what I think. It's sad that all the people at Twitch.
Although I also
jobs,
grew up
but
on a farm,
this
so
is
if I don't have a
the
shovel like over my shoulder,
the truth is,
I don't think anybody wants to hire
we
me.
determined whether it was a good decision or not to get rid of them in the coming years to see how Twitch evolves. You should watch Bezos' interview on Lex's podcast. Yeah, definitely. I hope you don't watch that.
It's a jungle out there.
Quran is not the
Yeah,
only scripture of Islam.
yeah, it really
Yeah,
is.
The Bhagavad Gita, is that the name? Sorry, I'm probably completely mispronouncing that. Is also like a supplementary text as well, right? That's Hindu. Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I forgot. As I said, but I know that there are other the Hadith. Is that it? Yeah. Well, either way, like it what the name is kind of irrelevant in a way, right? I'm not trying to be rude here, but it's kind of irrelevant. Like, you can see kind of what my point is. The problem is, it seems like upper management does not seem to pay any price for misplanning their workplace.
Oh man, I can't wait to get my pet, man. I'm gonna go get me a bear.
A lot of executives at Twitch also left.
I don't even care if it's not
There
meta.
was one executive that we worked with a lot. I remember, I guess I can say, I remember her, right? It was a woman. And she was awesome. I thought she was great. Like, I didn't know what the fuck to expect, right? Because I'm like, oh, I'm going to meet this fucking person, this like executive woman at Twitch. Like, what's this going to be? Bro, she was fucking cool. Like, I was like, I didn't even know what to think. I was kind of in shock. I remember I like met her at the, like a party I went to, right? It was like, not really part of like a business mixer that I went to like last year. And I was really shocked by it. And she's gone. That's why she's out. I mean, I don't know about that, man. Yeah, I'm not sure. And so do you think Twitch pays streamers too much money? Does Twitch pay streamers too much money? That is up to streamers to decide. And the reason why I say that is because if streamers are, what do you call it? If streamers are not being compensated fairly, and this is why I think that streamers can never be paid enough. And they can never be paid too little either. Because streaming is one of the best free markets that exists right now.
I agree with that.
If you don't like the money,
that's why I've tried to learn so much about it.
You are funded almost directly by your performance as an individual and your relationship that is direct to your consumer. And what is unfair about that? Yeah, like a street musician. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I bet, I don't fucking know. Tosin Abassi from Animals as Leaders. I bet if he went out and he was, doing street performances, he'd make a lot more money than some random bum with a banjo. Or, yeah, I mean, that's it. Abassi, Animals as Leaders, so fucking good. Dude, this guy's absolutely fucking nuts. Yeah, he's insane. And not really. Well, I think he probably would make more money. What I'm saying is, like, a skilled musician would make more money than somebody who's not. And that's what I think makes it fair.
Ooh, I just got a new thing.
Just try to recover, guys.
All right, let's play the game for a bit. What should we listen to tonight? Let me see. All right, guys, YouTube stream is going off, just so you guys know.